He won 5 straight AFC West titles and culminated it with a Super Bowl, so he was successful. But John Elway was saying yesterday that his biggest regret was not drafting Josh Allen out of Wyoming. Instead, they drafted Bradley Chubb, an edge rusher. But I think it's interesting talking about Caleb Williams because Josh Allen is really a reminder of how difficult it is. So you watch Josh Allen now, the most gifted quarterback in the league. Mahomes wins more, but Josh is bigger, stronger, and moves better. And I watched him twice in college. He was awful against Oregon. No touchdowns, a pick, went 9 of 24. I watched them against Iowa, too. No touchdowns, 2 picks. Got blown out in both. Between the two teams, and they weren't great teams necessarily. Iowa wasn't. He scored a field goal, 1 touchdown. Now, I know it's Wyoming, but Patrick Mahomes, who got, some naysayers out of college, was wildly productive. Didn't win a ton, but he was in a much better conference. So Josh Allen got overlooked in high school, had to go to a junior college, only had 1 small college offer. GMs whiffed on him, and he is now the most talented quarterback in the NFL. And don't tell me you knew he was going to be great. Nobody did. In fact, his first year, he was a mess. And then he got Brian Daboll, slowly but surely, as he was running over linebackers and jumping over safeties, he got more refined. But look at right now in the NFL. Jordan Love went from awful to great in about a 3-week stretch last year. Brock Purdy, last guy drafted. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, undrafted. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen, overlooked, had to go to junior colleges. Look at the 4 best quarterbacks, in fact, today in the NFL. Mahomes, couldn't win in college. Josh Allen, completely overlooked. Lamar Jackson, that guy should be a wide receiver. And Joe Burrow had to transfer. Those are the 4 best quarterbacks in the league. And even though Herbert with Harbaugh is going to win, most general managers, and 2 that I know, like Tua more than Justin Herbert. And Tua was almost a bust with his first coach. So this stuff is so situational. I mean, Jordan Love last year, didn't see him for 3 years, awful for 5 weeks. 3 weeks later, oh my God, we've got a star. Not even the Packers saw that coming. So I think 75 to 80% of this stuff for quarterbacks is just situational. Who's your OC? I mean, Aaron Rodgers may not succeed this year, and it won't be all his fault. Is Robert Saleh a good coach? Nat Hackett is an OC, impulsive owner, rebuilt offensive line. So for the veterans, Tom Brady literally had to choose where to go. Matt Stafford chooses where to go. Russell Wilson could choose kind of where to go. And Brady's like, okay, I'll go to Tampa, but I need a right tackle. Give me Gronk, AB, Lenny Fournette, and okay, then I'll do it. And even he chose the weakest division in football. So Brady, one of the smartest guys ever, when he could choose kind of the league and target the league, he wanted to go to Tampa because situationally they needed a right tackle and a couple of his guys. So good luck to Kay. Welcome in. Live in Los Angeles, it's The Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. J-Mac Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski, the legend, greatest college basketball coach in, 50 years, will be joining us at the top of next hour. Team USA, he's coached it several times. Thursday night, game on, Texans-Bears. Caleb Williams says he wants to play. He'll play a little, maybe a couple snaps, couple series. Got to put him out there.
Okay, if you say so, Coach.
Well, I mean,
I don't know about that.
I mean, I think for a rookie, you want some snaps. Even a series, 6, 7, 8, 9 snaps, maybe. Okay. So Caleb Williams says he wants to play on Thursday. Game on. So, listen, Caleb Williams is going to be interesting because he was the first NIL star quarterback in college, making $4 or $5 million a year. Now, a year or two later, there's a lot of people making $1 million. Defensive linemen are making $1 million. High school kids are getting a couple hundred, $300,000 or $400,000. Sometimes not as seniors, but as juniors in high school. So that thing's changed. But he was the first NISL superstar. And he's confident, and he straddles the line between cocky and confident. And that stuff can get you in real trouble real fast. There was a little, you saw a little bit of it the other day when they asked Caleb Williams about pressure, which is real and it exists in life and sports and politics. But Caleb says, I don't believe in it.
Sure isn't a word that I use in my vocabulary, really, only when other people talk about it. And every time that you'll hear me speak about pressure is that I don't think that pressure is a thing. As long as you prepare for the moment mentally and physically. Get in here, work, get after it, whether it's weight room, film room, and then get on the field and work. And then obviously game days, get out there and go be special.
Okay, so maybe he's one of 2 or 3 athletes all time that doesn't feel pressure. Maybe, but it does exist. So there are 6 quarterbacks drafted in the first round. And if you look at history, 1 will be a star, maybe 1 or 2 will be solid starters, and 3 will be misses, maybe 4. So let's go to the last decade where quarterback play has been much better at the high school and college level. The coaching of quarterback play, the cottage industry, the quarterback camps, better than ever. And despite that, in the last decade, we've had 32 first-round quarterbacks, 32, 7 stars, less than a quarter. And over half, 17, I would call misses. And about 6 solid starters. Some years, 3 drafted, all misses, ugly misses. Over half. So Caleb Williams, to me, is the only quarterback in this draft. Because I said this yesterday, being a quarterback in the NFL is very situational unless maybe you're John Elway or Andrew Luck. Outside of that, who do you get as coach? Who's the owner? What's the roster? What's the O-line like? What's the division? But I do think Caleb Williams is the only quarterback in this draft that, regardless of situation, will be productive. Now, he may not win a lot. He may never get the right coach. I mean, Justin Herbert, super productive, yet to have the right coach until we think Jim Harbaugh. So I think the floor for Caleb Williams, the floor is like Kyler Murray, where he's obviously talented. He throws a beautiful ball, will win, probably shows up in a playoff or 2, gets paid, but doesn't win enough, right? Like may have some Mahomes tendencies. He just doesn't win enough. That's Herbert so far. That's Trevor Lawrence so far. And I think he's a better prospect than both. But the rest of the quarterbacks, I'll just say it right now. Let's start with Drake May. I think there's a real chance it doesn't work. Bad footwork, not refined, defensive coach, bad roster. So he's not going to get off to a good start regardless if he succeeds. I think there's a real possibility he could really, really struggle. If I had to guess one guy who doesn't make it, this would probably be my best guess. Michael Penix, like him, but he's a pocket quarterback, and there's not a lot of those in the league. He's had major injuries. He's a lefty. Atlanta doesn't have a history of winning. In fact, I saw this morning, they've sold out for the first time in 20 years. They've sold out their season tickets. He also has to get through the Kirk Cousins roadblock for a couple years. How does that play psychologically with him, with his confidence? There's Bo Nix, who I like, but size, kind of small, arm, kind of average. Now we got Sean Payton, O-line pretty darn good, nice weapons, Mims, Franklin, Cortland Sutton, but he's a small quarterback, doesn't push the ball down the field a lot. And what if after 3 or 4 years, they're just like, he's kind of average? It's possible. J.J. McCarthy, I didn't really buy into him, has a lot of confidence, but J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback from Michigan, what if he is just a product of Michigan's system? And Jim Harbaugh, I mean, they won a national championship. In one game, he didn't throw a pass in the second half. Again, they tell me he's a certain height, but he always looks a tad small and a tad slight to me. I didn't see all these NFL GMs. Even Minnesota only gave up a couple of mid to late round picks to get him. What if he's just more of a product of Michigan? We've seen that before. Guy who's great in college with a great coach and great personnel. And then there's Jaden Daniels. I think he's going to hit, but he is slight. Washington has new everything. Owner, GM, coach, coordinator. What if they can't protect him with the offensive line? That's certainly possible. So my gut is Caleb Williams is the one that will be productive, and you will go, wow, a lot, and doesn't win. Bad owners, really bad owners. Kind of a political organization, defensive head coach, on the hot seat in the first month. The division, it's a lot of shootouts. Minnesota's offense, Green Bay's offense, Detroit offense. You got to win by scoring. He may not win much. He may be on his second coach by next year. And again, it's not the greatest weather. So that's kind